As we serve like Christ, we are being poured out for such a time as this. In the story of Queen Esther, Mordecai comes to the queen in the midst of great danger on the one hand and royalty on the other hand, and says to her, "You have been called for such a time as this. You have been called for such a time as this. We are faced with poverty and pandemic diseases, and you and I are called for such a time as this to grow our mission deeper, wider, and further." In the next 6 years, we, as the Baltimore-Washington Conference, will implement a 10-point plan called Hope for the City under the leadership of Superintendent Anthony Hunt, as well as the leadership of the pastors in the Baltimore region and the Hope Council. A plan that calls for starting new congregations, developing 4 empowerment centers, strengthening the minds of young people by forming partnerships between churches and schools, developing neighborhoods by using the Shalom Zone strategy. We'll strengthen existing Shalom Zones. We're going to start 20 new Shalom Zones in Baltimore, and we're going to start more than 40 Shalom Zones across the Baltimore-Washington Conference. This June, under the leadership of Bruce Haskins, 8 communities of Shalom, 8 congregations will begin their Shalom training. Today, I want to introduce to you those 8 churches. And as I call those 8 churches, I invite the pastor and also the lay member from that church to stand that we might recognize you. The 8 churches that are going to begin Shalom Zone training next month are Christ Church, Unity, Ames, Mount Winans, John Wesley, St. James, Monroe Street, and Mount Zion.